This is the last time Penguin fans will see their team take home ice until 2 Saturdays from now. The Penguins have won 3 in a row, and they've risen to the top of the Metropolitan Division where they belong. You wonder if they'll ever look back. Hello again, everybody. Along with Bob Airy, I'm Paul Steigerwald, and this Penguin top unit is off to a tremendous start, and so is Chris Kunitz, picking up where he left off last year, Bob.
Well, he is, Dave. You talk about a 35-year-old Chris Kunitz. Leads the Penguins with 35 hits. Got a pair of goals the other night to give him a total of 5, 3 on that power play. He has been sizzling, and that top line as hot as any line in the National Hockey League.
Well, the Sabres were looking for offensive production from a couple of guys who have a combined 24 goals in their respective careers against the Penguins. They have never scored yet this year for the Buffalo Sabres.
You're talking about Brian Gionta first, who's got 18 against the Penguins in his career, none this season. The captain of the Buffalo Sabres, and Matt Moulson, a former Pittsburgh draft pick in 2003. Moulson has got 0 goals on the season.
They're due, and let's go down now on the ice for the national anthem. It's the Penguins and the Sabres tonight here in Pittsburgh.
Please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag above the scoreboard. And join the Penguins' own Mr. Jeff Jimerson with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets were glad, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
Jeff Jimerson always gets a nice ovation when he sings the national anthem here in Pittsburgh. Let's go to our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, you have to play to the level you're playing right now. If the Penguins do that, they'll have no problem. Do not play to the level of your opponent in this one. Christian Ehrhoff, the ex-Buffalo Sabre, leading the Penguins with a +6 on that blue line. And let's go to the well again. Special teams for Pittsburgh, not just the power play, but the penalty killing has killed 22 straight and been fantastic.
Marc-Andre Fleury's been fantastic. His 9th start tonight. A lot of starts for him early in the year. And coming off that shutout of the Kings, and Jonas Enroth is 1-3, 1-5-1 this season, 1-3 against the Penguins in his career. Christian Ehrhoff getting a chance to face his former team, the Buffalo Sabres, who are still paying some of his salary. They're
For the next 14 years, Steggy.
yeah, a lot of money over the next 14 years after buying him out, and the Penguins, of course, took advantage of it by signing him to a contract that's certainly under what his value is, but he's very happy as he's making a lot of money from Buffalo here tonight to play for the Penguins. Now the Penguins shoot the puck just wide as Hornquist, who leads the Penguins in shots, swung it wide of the goal. To the near side of Paul Martin. Penguins go right to work here in the offensive zone. Paul Martin with it again, just pushed it towards the net. It goes off the leg of Josh Georges, picked up now by Tyler Ennis. And the diminutive forward of the Sabres comes in there 1-on-2 against Ehrhoff and Martin. And Ehrhoff, who had seen him many times in practice, just strips him of the puck and moves it along to his partner. Martin ahead for Como, who backed up to the blue line and couldn't take the pass. And Drew Stafford, who just scored a goal for the first time this year the other night against Boston Bruins in an overtime loss, gets in there on the forecheck for the Buffalo Sabres. They come right to the front of the net. Good opportunity there, and Fleury able to make the save on Matt Moulson, looking to get on the board for the first time.
Alternate captain, and there's Mike Johnson. 6-2-1 in the early season, his first in the National Hockey League, and there's Ted Nolan, an ex-teammate of mine, ex-Pittsburgh Penguin. We saw his son play, Jordan Nolan, for the LA Kings in the last hockey game, and he's behind the bench for Buffalo.
And Cody Hodgson and his partners come onto the ice now for the face-off in the Penguin zone, which is won cleanly by Evgeny Malkin. And now Blake Como dumps the puck into the Buffalo zone. Mike Weber, Pittsburgh native, goes back for it. Moves it up the wall, but Dupuis tried to slide it right back towards the area behind the net for Como. Tries again, and it comes all the way around now for Letang. Letang is hit by Marcus Foligno. But the Penguins able to maintain possession here as Como shifts those hips and moves the puck down to Letang. And Letang, challenged by Foligno. Marcus Foligno able to get the puck, and he brings it back to center. Foligno has 2 goals for the Sabres.
And when you say 2 goals, that's a lot of goals.
It is.
Tyler Ennis 4 leads the squad.
Marc-Andre Fleury stops it behind the net. Chris Letang will bring it ahead. Letang has Brandon Sutter up ahead on the right side. Doesn't go that way. Instead, he'll just dump the puck into the Buffalo zone and head to the bench. Andre Benoit sent it up the wall. Nicolas Deslauriers tried to carry it ahead. He can't do it, and the Penguins go D to D. Dupre to Scuderi, and back to Dupre. Simon Dupre looks up the right wing. And Benoit was right in the face of Nick Spaulding. He couldn't take the pass. And now Andre Benoit moves it into the middle for Cody McCormick. Steered into the Penguin zone where Simon Dupre will take it. Deslauriers in on the forecheck. Goes right after him behind the net. But he finds Sutter, who moves it on the left wing to Spaulding. He skates right in front of Bob Airey and dumps the puck into the Buffalo zone.
Well, nobody wants to be embarrassed, and the Sabres don't want to be embarrassed by this juggernaut here in Pittsburgh. They've come out here to play. They've really had a good start to this hockey game. Good pace early.
Torrey Mitchell, former Shark, in there along with Brian Giotta. Zemgus Girgensons goes to the front of the net, but the Penguins' Patrick Hornquist moves it to Kunitz. He looks ahead for Crosby, couldn't get it through to him. And Crosby sends it back on defense to Paul Martin. Looks like the Sabres are clogging up that neutral zone pretty well, Bob.
Well, they are, and Josh George is no stranger to Crosby.
Hornquist lifts one to the glove of Jonas Enroth, who hangs onto it. Fellow Swedes, Hornquist and Enroth, and we'll have a face-off in the Buffalo zone.
Well, the Sabres got the first shot of this hockey game, but you take a look on the right. Shots per game down to 21.2. Goals per game down to just over 1 per game. The Buffalo Sabres are not getting it done. Last 3 games, 15 shots. 10 shots, 15 shots. Can you believe it? 10 shots against the Leafs, Staggy.
Yeah, it became a topic around the NHL. It's had to be embarrassing for the Sabres organization. And Ted Nolan, their head coach, who is a guy who brings a tremendous work ethic and expects one from his players. Tough start for the Buffalo Sabres. Now Sutter drops it off for Downey and is ahead of the play going into the attacking zone. Brian Trottier is one of the assistants with Ted Nolan. And Trotz the last few years was a guy who was really active with the Penguins alumni. And this is the famous Trotz slide when the Penguins won the Stanley Cup the second time in '92. He just grabbed the cup and went sliding on that tarp at Three Rivers Stadium to the delight of all the folks in the stadium that day. And that's pretty much indicative of the spirit of Brian Trottier.
Yeah, we told him we were going to be right there with him, Staggy, but we let him go, and he's just a big kid, still is at heart. And I told him we were going to show that. He was laughing down here at the rink before the hockey game.
Malkin, Letang, the shot, and Ehrhoff somehow corralled it. I'm not sure he really knew that puck was coming. He was in position to stop it, though, and he freezes it.
Well, I think he maximizes that 5'8" frame. They got him listed at 5'10". There's no way. I talked to Artur Zerbe, the goaltending coach here, and he said he's 5'8", and that one hit the blocker, and he looked around for it and stuck in his paraphernalia, and Enroth, the Swedish netminder, able to flag down that Letang shot.
Gotch against Hodgson. Stewart in his own zone now for Buffalo. Just dumps it to open space across the rink, and Andre Benoit looks for Foligno. Pass doesn't connect. And Gotch can't take advantage of that. Number 80 for the Sabres was Chris Stewart, also looking for his first goal of the season. They expect more from him as well. And we get an icing call here against Buffalo. Jonas Enroth is the shortest goaltender in the league. Bobby said a moment ago that he's probably shorter than 5'10", as he's listed there. So he would be the shortest, certainly shorter than Yaroslav Halak, who I think is legitimately 5'10".
Yeah, oh yeah.
But you know, listen, a lot of goalies were that size for many, many years in this league, including a guy who's now the general manager of the Penguins, Jim Rutherford. And some of the more famous ones, like Rogie Vachon. Quick shot by Sidney Crosby, stopped by Enroth. And Gump Worsley, and the names go on and on. We invite you to tweet us at Root Sports Pit using the hashtag PensBooth. It's brought to you by Point Park University. Tonight we want you to send your Halloween-themed Penguin pictures. So send us some good Halloween shots.
Well, a lot of these Sabres wingers looking to score goals, and they've really been weak down the middle here, the Buffalo Sabres, and they've had to buy out some contracts, Billy Leno and others. Cody Hodgson just got demoted to the fourth line for the Buffalo Sabres here. They just really have been struggling down that center position.
Heads up.
Sidney Crosby drops it back to Letang and over to Mata and ahead to Crosby. Takes it in flight, comes down the slot, following on Hornquist, stop, rebound, score! Chris Kunitz on a second chance.
Well, they say you cannot throw a bad pass to a great player. Sidney Crosby, watch him take this pass. Off the skate, did not break stride, walked around. 6'8" Myers and Mitchell. The puck got to the front of the cage. Hornquist shoveled it to Enroth, and Enroth got no help. The Sabres had 4 guys around him, but nobody took the stick of Chris Kunitz. He's got 6 on the season. He had 35 last year, and the Penguins are on the board first, and that is not good for Buffalo.
That line is just unreal right now, and the Penguins are unreal in the first period. That's 16 first period goals now for Pittsburgh to lead the NHL in that category. And it's a little bit of shock and awe, I think, for the Penguins every time they play a team here in Pittsburgh, because teams come in here and they're just, I think, maybe too respectful at times, but whatever it is, the Penguins are taking advantage of it early in games.
Well, look at that. Myers got caught looking at the puck, 6'8". All he's got to do is have one hand on the stick and put it out on the puck. And then look at all these white jerseys there. Nobody took the sticks. I think that's been an issue. You're going to get the work ethic here from Buffalo, but the details are still not in the game.
Como sends it out to Martin, who wrists it to the corner. Dupuis able to swipe it over to the far side. Tyson Strachan, former Washington Capital product, moves it back into the Penguin zone. He's a big defenseman, 6'3", 215, number 24 of the Sabres. Here's Evgeny Malkin, galloping to center. Moves it left wing to Como on his off wing. Como shoots it, and he's wide of the goal on the stick side of Enroth. Over to the near side where Martin is able to poke it down the wall, but the Sabres get it right back to center. Great gap there for Ehrhoff to poke it away again and into the Sabres zone. And Tyler Ennis has it there. Ennis darting towards the Penguin zone, dumps it in, and Fleury out of the net.
Mike Johnson looks for shots as momentum builders for his team. The Sabres, they don't shoot the puck. There you go.
Ennis fired one wide there, past the glove of Fleury. Centering pass for Stafford doesn't connect, but it comes out to Benoit. His wrister hit a leg, and it's taken by Nick Spaulding. Spaulding will just bank it away to center. Nice stick work there by Sutter to knock it out of midair. He carries in, drops it off. Letang, the shot off a leg. And behind the net, Downey for the Penguins. Centers. And broken up by the Sabres, but out to Mata, drive. Saved by Enroth. And he's just able to find that fluttering puck and hang on to it before the Penguins could get in there and get another one.
Steve Downey on the doorstep of Enroth. And this man, 915 save percent. Enroth has just seen way too many pucks. Watch Sutter out of the air. So you got Sutter using the high hand coordination. You got Crosby with his skate, and then traffic in front of Enroth, who already, it seems, the Penguins are unstoppable.
I like the name that the Penguins PR department, Jason Seidling, came up with. I think it could be a name for the line of the Penguins, the Lethal Line. I like it. Crosby, Hornquist, and Kunitz. Right now, though, it's the Penguins' fourth line. Sill on the ice. Sill has it with Adams and Gotch. Sill dumps it to the corner. Back to get it is John Georges, the former Montreal Canadian and San Jose Shark. Trying to tie up his man there behind the goal, Adams. And the Sabres do win possession. Remember, Josh Georges was paired up with Hal Gill when the Canadians upset the Penguins in 2010. Now he's paired up with Tyler Myers, a very similar type defenseman, tall guy. Taken now by Simon Desprez. He'll move it up the left wing, and it's Kunitz on the ice again, and he'll dump it into the Buffalo zone and get in after it. Kunitz leads the team in hits, too, among forwards coming into the game with 35 hits. So he's doing everything he's been doing for the last couple of years and doing it better than ever, I think. Here's Hornquist, drops it off to Crosby. His shot, and a blocker save made by Enroth. Now it is Ehrhoff carrying it down the wall and giving it to Sid. Sid steps around. Hence, it's Hornquist who shot it off a body wide. Strachan trying to get it out. Crosby finishes him off after he dumps it the length of the ice. And another icing call against Buffalo. The lethal line of the Penguins.
Well, they've got the Penguins off in flight here in this hockey game. That's what they've done so far this season. Crosby leading the way with 16 points. Kunitz, his 6th goal of the season. They all got in on the first goal for Pittsburgh. And now Malkin, who's, well, he's got a point in every game this season on the ice.
Here's Mata, wrist shot. Floated it high and wide off the glass. Strachan trying to get it out. Now it's Weber sending it up the wall. The Penguins pinch down. Good play by Dupuis to keep it in. Malkin battling in the corner against Weber, trying to maintain possession. Como working there as well. And now the Sabres do work it past those Penguin forecheckers, and Zemgus Girgensons is pressured from behind by Blake Como and is forced to hand the puck right to the Penguin defense. Letang ahead to Como. Blake Como trying to dump it in. And it's Nicholas Deslauriers now for Buffalo carrying the other way. Gains the red line and dumps it in. Fleury stops it, clears it, up off the glass. Deslauriers poked it in behind the net. Letang there. McCormick took it away for a moment. Letang gets it back. Como gives ground and then uses the wall to get it to center. Just out of the reach of Nick Spaulding. Taken by number 55, Rasmus Ristolainen. Another young Finn defenseman who played with Olli Mata on the World Junior team for Finland. They were partners. Here's Brandon Sutter skating out of his own zone. Crisscrossing with Spaulding. Sutter tees it up, lets it go, and fires it high off the glass. Back in behind the net, taken there by Downey. McCormick there trying to get it away. He's working both ends of the rink. He's got to be a little tired here as the Sabres do get to center. They're going to make a change if they can. Ryan Flynn can't get the puck going north. And now McCormick takes a piece of Downey on the way to the bench over there right near Bob Harry. As the puck is controlled by Rob Scuderi.
Still only one shot, the opening shot. The Sabres were 9 minutes into this game, 7 for Pittsburgh.
Kunitz open, wrist shot, and that one off a stick and high off the glass. Taken now by Hornquist. Crosby trying to shuffle it in front. Hornquist just wills that puck to the goal, and Enroth able to freeze it in the paint.
There he is, Hornquist, his familiar spot in the blue paint. There he is again, and Kunitz following up for Pittsburgh.
1-0 Penguins here in their first, and there's a look at Paul Martin, who has a little company this weekend because it's Parents Weekend for the Penguins, and Paul's parents, Bev and Dale, not pictured, are here in the party suite at Consol Energy Center. This is a little bit different than the parents or the mom's weekend or the dad's trip, if you will. So what's it like to be here in Pittsburgh and to hang out with Paul?
It's great to be here together. I think secretly we're always a little bit jealous when the other one gets to go without the other one, so it's nice to get to come together, nice to spend time with them, and the Penguins are really good to us when we're here. It's really been a fun time.
Next week we'll be in Minnesota to Taste the Wild. I'm going to go out and visit some of Paul's former coaches in Elk River. Place I need to see or stop by in Elk River when I'm there?
Well, it's a beautiful community on the river. I used to be the tour guide at the historical working farm there, so you could always check out the Kelly Grange farm.
I will add that to my list. Enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thanks.
Guys, it's all yours.
Wow, thanks, Dan. That's great stuff. Can you imagine how pretty it must be up there on the Elk River? Paul Martin, what an athlete, right? I mean, we've seen footage of him here on Root Sports that Danny got of him playing football. He's a good wide receiver, too. Great player, Paul Martin. His ice time's down a little bit here this year. He's not playing on the power play as much.
The long season.
It is.
The long season.
Something tells me he might be gobbling up some more ice time, Bob, when Olli Mata's out after his surgery this week.
Yep.
Here's Cody Hodgson. He's also off to a terrible start. He does have one goal, but they want more from him as well. Here's Foligno dropping it off. Benoit delivers it into the corner. Paul Martin right there with that slick stick trying to move it out. And he gets help on the wall from Downey and then Sutter, and the puck is retrieved in the Buffalo zone by Rasmus Ristolainen, and his pass goes right up to the middle, and it's icing against Buffalo. It is a great day for hockey, brought to you by Day Automotive. November 1st, 95. Mario Lemieux tied a team record with 6 assists in one game against the Bolts.
6 assists in one game. I think I had 6 1 year.
Here's Scuderi off a face-off to Crosby. Trying to get it to the net. Kunitz reaching for it with a glove. Taken now by Ristolainen. Simon Desprez ahead. Crosby. Cutting towards the net. Lost the puck. Hornquist follows on to help him out. Crosby's pass for Kunitz. Used his right skate to get it to the blade of his stick. And now Desprez will dump it to the corner. Crosby with Benoit on him. Turns. Backhand pass to Kunitz and a shot blocked in front. Good play by Myers. Get in front of that shot by Kunitz. Here's Crosby again. Dropped it between his legs to Hornquist and now to Kunitz. Look at these guys cycle the puck and control it in the corner. Backhanded by Desprez into the corner. Hornquist can't play it there. Tyler Myers will go get it. Myers whacks it up the wall. Stewart tried to get it out. Myers has another crack at it around this side for Benoit. Looks like he'll get time and space.
What happened here? The goalie Enroth just went down. The referee took a look back, didn't see anything. Enroth just knocked down in his crease, and that'll rile everybody up. Weber's standing up on the bench. He's got into it with Sidney Crosby, and I don't know if somebody clipped Enroth or he went down on his own. Take a look. Crosby goes to the front of the crease. Oh yeah. Wow. Camera don't lie.
Yeah, Weber.
I don't think Weber's going to be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw a shot of Weber. We just got a shot of Weber on the bench, and you could see him. So Enroth apparently took a shot at Sidney Crosby prior to Sid throwing the blade of his stick in there behind his right leg.
And neither of them detected. Apparently neither of them detected by any official. We saw somebody get thrown in the penalty box last game, and then the other official relinquished the penalty. First time we've seen that stay.
Mike Johnston said he wasn't particularly happy with that approach.
Enroth has lost his stick here. He's chasing around without a stick. He needs one.
And Evgeny Malkin trying to pull away from everybody here. Surrounded by white jerseys. He gets cross-checked in the back. And that was Cody McCormick who did that, and then he ices the puck. How many icings is that now tonight for Buffalo? Must be 5 or 6.
Let's take a look at what precipitated here, what led to Sidney Crosby doing what he did to Enroth. Well, he went through the crease and Enroth put his glove out. That's about it. Yeah, not much there. You know, the Sabres are looking for something just to get them going, and this is a case right here where if your team is together and unified, you go out and do something about it. I don't know what you do. You go out and just start being very physical, playing even harder for your netminder, for your hockey team.
See what Chris Stewart did for his team the other night?
Yes.
Against the Boston Bruins?
Yes.
He fought Milan Lucic for the first shift of the game. What a battle that was between those two. Lucic is a villain in Buffalo as a result of him running over Ryan Miller a few years ago.
That's the kind of stuff you need, Staggy, but you need it from everybody. And that's the only thing that's going to make you successful.
Olimata down the wing. Tyler Myers with that incredibly long reach. Defending against him, and we're going to get a penalty here. I think Fleury was headed to the bench.
Holding the stick here.
Yep. Penguins already lead 1-0 going on that lethal power play.
You're already up by 1 here, Marcel, and you're on a chance on the power play. You guys have been able to gain so much momentum. Actually, you're killing a penalty here as I look over here. That's why you're on the ice here. How big is this face-off for you?
It's big. We want to win it, get the puck all the way down the ice, make them break out, and buy some time doing that. Make it tight to the neutral zone, make them dump the puck in, and work the puck out again.
Is that what's made your penalty kill so successful? Has it been your neutral zone, aggressiveness there, what you're stacking up at the blue line?
A little bit of everything, I think. We were a little, too over-aggressive at the beginning of the year, and they kind of picked us apart a little bit.
Thanks, Marcel.
Yep.
Well, he did win the face-off, and Paul Martin clears the puck to the line, and Tyler Myers can't keep it in. He'll have to go back and get it. Marcel Gottsch and Craig Adams, the penalty killers up front. That's a good face-off win. You mentioned it, Bob. And they have been struggling a little bit. Sutter and Gottsch, 4 and 11 in the D zone on the penalty kill in the last couple of games. They haven't been winning faceoffs in the D zone on the penalty kill lately, but it hasn't hurt them as they've killed 22 straight coming into this situation here. And now here's Adams clearing it up the wall and out to the center ice where Tyler Myers has it.
Well, you see what happens. You win that initial faceoff, Staggy, and now there's only a minute 24 and counting, and the Sabres have yet to set up in the offensive zone.
Myers, who's a team-leading -2 for the Sabres. As Dupuis comes back, Scuderi joining the rush. Dupuis shoots it. Oh, and a good save by Enroth as he had to deal with a deflection there. I think that puck changed direction a little bit on him, and he was able to flag it down with a glove.
Well, the whole bench was yelling 3. The whole bench was yelling 3. You could see a man coming late. And Dupuis looked over, just saw the 2-on-1, the big stick of Tyler Myers stick on puck with Scuderi to the left of Pascal Dupuis.
Sabres power play is ranked 29th in the NHL. Spalling taking the face-off against Cody Hodgson. The Sabres end up with control of the puck with a minute 1 to go on the penalty to Olli Maatta for holding the stick.
Still only 1 shot for the Sabres after 10 registered against the Leafs 2 games ago. 10 for the whole game.
Josh George is with it. George is up top. Hodgson to Georges. Doesn't shoot it. Goes right side. Shot by Ristolainen is kicked out by Fleury to the corner. Ristolainen gets to the rebound and moves it behind the net. Sabres able to maintain possession here as Cody Hodgson brings it up high. 27 seconds left on the penalty. Ristolainen stepping to his right, throwing into the net, and a blocker save made by Fleury. That was a beauty there. And a nice shot by Ristolainen, just floating it through.
Yes, he moved to his right. He just gravitated to his right a little bit to create a shooting lane and wristed it through. And he looks very talented and comfortable on that blue line.
Well, he played last year, then went back, played in the World Junior Championships, and then returned to Buffalo at the end of the year after spending time in the American Hockey League. He's a good player, good young player, only, just like Olli Maatta, only 20 years old. Penalties over. Penguins have killed 23 consecutive opponents' power plays. To those of you who have tweeted us some of your Halloween Penguins-themed pictures at Root Sports Pit using the hashtag PensBooth, and we invite you to keep on sending them in.
Now Marcel Gotch, they keep sending him in. As you're looking at these pictures. Steggy, were you trick-or-treating last night?
No, but that guy on the right, he's representing a lot of the goalies who the Penguins have played this year. Here's a shot wide of the goal. Amazingly, though, the Penguins have scored more than 3 goals only twice. It's just that they're scoring at least 3 every game. Now in the corner, it is Torrey Mitchell. And they're averaging close to 4 a game. Some explosions in there. 6-goal game against Anaheim to open the season and 8 goals the other night against the Devils. 4:48 remaining in the first period. The Penguins with 8 shots in this game, and the Sabres have 3. And the Penguins lead 1-0 as Ehrhoff shoots it right to the goal, and Enroth will freeze it, and there'll be a face-off in the Buffalo zone. We'd like to welcome Westfield community antenna viewers in the Westfield area of Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching and rooting on your Pittsburgh Penguins. All of us at Root Sports and the Penguins appreciate your support.
When you don't score goals, you grip the stick a little bit too tight, and you don't even shoot the puck as much. You feel like you need that perfect play, that perfect shot to score. The Sabres, they're caught in that rut right now. They just have to throw pucks from every angle off bodies. They're getting bodies to the net right now. They're not getting any shots there. They got 2 on the power play, 3 total, and you're not going to score if you don't get some of those ugly goals and ugly bounces.
Hornquist long drive, blocker save, rebound, Kunitz, and it's knocked away from his stick by Ristolainen at the very last second. And now Rasmus Ristolainen carries the puck and moves it along to his partner, Andre Benoit, who used the glass to get it inside the line on Letang, knocked it right back out to neutral ice. Hornquist can't control it there. Stewart with it, centers down to Molson. His shot and it's blocked by Letang, and that hurt Chris Letang. And he blocked it with his right leg, and it looked like it went off maybe his instep on his right skate.
What a chance, a 2-on-1. Matt Molson, 23 goals last year, the former 9th round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2003. And they created a 3-on-2, then a 2-on-1, and the outside of that left foot is where Letang took that shot. And that's a deadly area right there.
It was the left skate.
Matt Molson looking for his first. And that one's blocked off a face-off win by the Sabres.
Now Tyler Strachan sends it back in behind for Marcus Foligno. Foligno, Hodgson, and Stewart on the ice. Centering pass, loose in the paint. Fleury trying to find it, and squirts free to the corner. And Dupre there battling, trying to get possession. Right up the wall it comes, and turning with it is Steve Downing. Nice outlet pass that time to Spaulding, and then Sutter just steers it up into the Buffalo zone. Strachan goes back to try to get it out. Scooped out of there by Mike Weber to center ice. Weber played for the Beaver County Badgers and also the South Point Rink Rats. Cody McCormick steps up. Nick Spaulding keeps the puck moving forward here. Sutter steps in there. Stewart there as well. Play keeps moving, and finally the Sabres drill it back into Penguin ice.
Yeah, not a smart play there because the tired bodies on the ice for Buffalo. Now you can come back with Evgeny Malkin's unit.
Another icing against the Sabres. Coming up in the first intermission, presented by your neighborhood Ford store with Robin J. Dan Potash once again speaks with Chris Kunitz. He's becoming a regular on Danny's show. And also Jay will tell us, and that's because he's scoring goals regularly.
Yeah, he's not slowing down at all. 35-year-old Chris Kunitz.
Still playing the game exactly the right way. That physical brand of hockey, combining hits and skill. And of course, complimenting Sidney Crosby so well as his left winger.
Undrafted, by the way.
Sabres go D to D. Mike Weber with it. He dumped it in where Fleury will stop it behind the goal. Up the right wing now it's Blake Como, leaving it there for Paul Martin. Right up the middle it goes to Pascal Dupuis. Dupuis has Malkin with it. Dupuis centers off the side of the net on the stick of goaltender Enroth. That's 10 shots for Pittsburgh. Still 3 for the Sabres here. And the great puck possession game of the Penguins continues here as Ehrhoff moves it to Martin. Right back to Ehrhoff. Not in a big hurry here, just moving that puck stick to stick. Malkin goes to the bench, the puck hit his skate. And Ennis goes the other way. Look out, Deslauriers shoots it and it goes past the glove of Fleury and up off the glass.
Smart play by Crosby. He jumped on the ice for Malkin. Malkin coming to the bench. Crosby could not touch that puck. Would have been too many men on the ice.
Now he touches it and carries it and leaves it for Kunitz, for Hornquist, and back to Kunitz. Kunitz looks for Sid, wanted to get it to him behind the net, but the Sabres prevent that from happening. Now Sid gives a shove to Gergensons from behind, and that enables the Penguins to get possession again. Hornquist, Kunitz, shot, and a save by Enroth. Hornquist driven right into the glass by Myers, but he just bounces right off that check and moves it to the point to Mata to Letang. A shot, saved by Enroth, rebound. Hornquist chopped at it, but couldn't get it to the goal. And now it's Tyler Myers. And Myers moves it ahead to Deslauriers, and he gave it right to Wally Mata. The Penguins go right back to work in the offensive zone. Gergensen, noted as a good defensive centerman at a young age, can't get it out. Kunitz sends it back in behind the net. There's big Tyler Myers again. Won the Calder Trophy. He's the Rookie of the Year in the NHL, but he struggled the last couple of years, Myers. Now it's Letang going back for the puck with a minute remaining. Sutter. Steve Downey in on the forecheck. Benoit left it for Ennis. Scuderi goes back for the puck. Quickly moves it along to his partner Dupre and up to Downey. Into the middle now for Spaulding. Ristolainen goes back. Spaulding runs him right off the puck, but Ristolainen had the presence to turn and move it forward to Ennis, and the Sabres come back. And they had a pretty good rush going there, but they couldn't go tape to tape with their passes, and as a result, puck comes right back out to center ice. 23 seconds to go.
This Ristolainen, he's a star. He's unbelievable. You can see his mobility, his skating. He's not afraid to get physical as he just did in front of me there, and he shoots the puck to the net. He's got it all.
Taken 8th overall in 2013 draft.
He's really good.
And the Sabres have 3 more first-round picks coming next summer. And there's one player out there they wouldn't mind getting if things don't go any better than they're going now for the Buffalo Sabres. And they aren't going too well. The Penguins leading 1-0 and now shooting them 12-3 in the first 20 minutes of play.
Yep, not a lot of action for Marc-Andre Fleury. And it'll surely be tested a little bit more here in the second period of play, but still only one shot away are the Buffalo Sabres.
Robin J, take it away.
Yeah, Jay, the shutout streak for Marc-Andre Fleury, if you want to call it that now, 96 minutes and 46 seconds going back to the second period against New Jersey. And, of course, he's being insulated tonight, only 3 shots.
Well, he's going to have to be. You can see him kind of in between whistles, trying to keep himself loose. Goaltenders, obviously, they want to have that much protection. They'd like to have a little more activity. Pittsburgh just kind of, for Buffalo to be 1-0, it's a good thing because Pittsburgh has controlled the play. Their cycles, they're outworking them down low. A good first period by Pittsburgh.
And the Penguins leading by a score of 1-0, looking for their 4th consecutive victory. Chris Kunitz got that goal. Dan Potash will talk with him. Jay's going to tell us straight and more when we return right after this. Penguins did what they needed to do over the first 20 minutes against an outmanned Buffalo Sabres squad, outscoring them 1-0, out shooting him 12-3. Although those shots could have been a lot higher. The Penguins really dominating the first 20 minutes. Let's go to Steige and Bob now for the start of the second period, guys.
Thank you very much, Rob. Block shots are an interesting stat because they're a tough thing to do. That's obviously a gritty aspect of the game, but you don't want to have too many of them, do you, Bob?
No, that means you're stuck in your zone way too much. Letang blocked a shot off his foot. That hurt. But the Sabres had 9 blocks in that first period of play. Josh Georges had 2 of those blocks. There's Myers blocking 2 shots with his long stick. Getting a little tap from Enroth. There is the block shots of Josh Georges. 53 leads the NHL, and you see 4.54 shots blocked per game for Josh Georges, and he's a pretty good defenseman. I mean, he's been out there against Sidney Crosby most of this hockey game. He's a guy you can match up. Defense first for Josh Georges, for sure.
Josh Georges, former Montreal Canadian. They let him go. I was kind of surprised when that all happened during the summertime. They got him from the Habs for a second-round pick.
Well, he wasn't able to block Chris Kunitz's shot here tonight. Shuffled one behind Enroth. Enroth looked solid in the first period, guys. He really did. That was a second, third opportunity for the Penguins, who were relentless on that shift. And they start, Crosby, Kunitz, and Hornquist start the second.
Sabres hanging around. This is a team that broke a 12-game home winning streak for the Penguins a couple of years ago, if you remember. And they weren't a very good team then, and everybody was pretty much figuring it was going to go to 13, but the Sabres had something else to say about that, so keep that in mind. Here's Tyler Myers with it now, kind of quiet here at the Consol Energy Center at the moment.
You talked about Girgensons, a good back check there, and he looks very engaged. He got a few kudos from his bench. The Buffalo Sabres, you could hear them really applauding his back check that last shift.
Girgensons a Latvian player, the highest Latvian player ever selected in the NHL draft, taken 14th overall by the Sabres here in Pittsburgh in that draft a few years ago. There's a pass intended for Drew Stafford, and there's Pascal Dupuis as usual. It's conscientious, picking off the pass and turning it back to center ice. Back to get it goes Paul Martin. Drew Stafford in on the forecheck. Martin slips it through for Dupuis, just couldn't get a hold of it. Ristolainen lifted it back into the Penguin zone, but there's Malkin now. Malkin winds it up for the Penguins. And looks for Dupuis. Dupuis with a slapper, and Enroth makes the save, and the puck up to the blue line, taken there by Mata. Drive and a stick save made by Enroth. And it went up into the netting behind the Buffalo goaltender. Our UPMC Sports Medicine injury update still has Bo Bennett and Robert Bortuzzo pictured, but they are very close to returning. Wouldn't surprise me if maybe one of them or both of them would get a chance to play on this upcoming road trip.
It doesn't matter if the Penguins. I asked Mike Johnson this morning, what if the team's still winning? What if you've won 7, 8 in a row? Will you change the lineup? Yeah, he said, we're going with the guys that are going to help us win. And this is performance-based.
Letang slaps it to the net. Tyler Myers just shuffles it to his goaltender, Enroth. That's an interesting approach, isn't it, Bob? Not all coaches do that.
No, a lot of them are superstitious, or they just want to keep that winning lineup in there. But, if guys are ready and he feels they're going to help the club, Mike Johnson's not going to hesitate to put them right back into the lineup. So we'll see here. There's a couple of bodies that might be ready to play here for Pittsburgh any day.
And when coaches evaluate their team, they don't necessarily just evaluate them on wins and losses.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
you can win a game, and the coach might not be happy at all with how you actually played. Here's Cody Hodgson shooting, and it's wide on the glove side of Fleury. Chris Stewart works it in behind for Hodgson. Centers right in the feet of Foligno. Fleury stopped him. Stewart whacks at it, but the Penguins converge in the house to make sure that puck doesn't get to the net anymore. Now Sutter knocks it down, but chasing back forward is only Mata. Stewart kind of knifed in on him there to prevent him from getting to the puck. And now Stewart's got it. Hard pass to Hodgson. He finds Strachan. His shot is deflected. And that one went just wide. Mata had hit Foligno. I think he's still got a stick on that puck as it came through.
You're right, Steggy. Mata was all over Foligno, and Foligno still got a stick. It went by the right pad of Marc-Andre Fleury. A good shift for the Sabres. Very aggressive on the puck in the Penguin zone. They got the puck to the high slot eventually. A couple of good shots against Marc-Andre Fleury there, who was able to keep the puck out. You see the Penguins, all 5 collapsing in that house. Try to deny the Sabres.
Brian Flynn and Cody McCormick. Nicholas Delorier on the ice now for the Sabres. The 4th line against Malkin and company in the Penguin zone.
Malkin won another face-off. He was 7-1 in the first period of play. Malkin 7 of 8 draws.
Malkin's actually centering the 4th line here with Sill and Adams. And here's Malkin trying to get around Benoit. Malkin backhands it in behind the goal. It's a good way to get Gino on the ice for an extra shift or two. Not getting any power play chances. So you got to find different ways to generate offense. Malkin looks to the point, but Scuderi had vacated that position, and he'll have to go back and get the puck in his own zone. Fleury moves it away from Brian Flynn. Dupre makes sure he doesn't carry it in front of an empty net. And Zach Sill drives through center ice with it, loses it. And Aristolainen dishes it off to Brian Flynn. Penguins have yet to get a power play opportunity in this game, and you know that was one of the top things the Sabres discussed. Stay out of the box against the #1 power play unit in the NHL. Dupre with a big shoulder check there. Could have been interference as he leveled Torrey Mitchell before he ever got to the puck. Here's Crosby down the left wing. Crosby brings it up high, works it across to Paul Martin. Tried to center for Hornquist. Slap shot. Crosby just missed the goal. Sid turns off the wall with it. Ristolainen trying to get it away from him. Hornquist trying to get possession, can't do it. And Brian Gionta, first time I think I've called his name tonight, carries down the wing and pushes it wide of the goal. Zemgus Girgensons leaves it for Gionta, couldn't play it. And Ehrhoff swings it back over to the near side where Chris Kunitz has it for Pittsburgh. Gave it away right in front. Gionta, and he shot wide of the goal. The glorious chance on his way to the bench.
Well, he knew where the top shelf was, and he really tried to aim it for that top shelf. And he missed it, Steggy. I mean, he really tried to gauge it, almost tried to place it in there, and just missed.
Stafford fires right on, and Fleury able to make the save, but he freezes. What did you think of the Simon Dupre hit, Bob?
It was right behind the net. It was a little bit blocked out, and that's an interference. Simon Dupre didn't want to get hit by Mitchell. It was a freight train coming in. Take a look. Yeah, that's an interference call. Could have easily been called against Simon Dupre. He doesn't mind being physical, and he is one of the physical presences on the Penguins' blue line, and he took a look up at the screen to take a look at it himself, Steggy.
Well, he came into the game leading all D-men in hits with 33 of them. And really, you see a lot of that now. When the puck's available there, players doing just that. And they're going shoulder to shoulder before they ever get to the puck. Then it becomes a matter of who's got a stronger shoulder. And actually, both of them went down on that. I thought just Mitchell went down, but seeing the replay, I see that Dupre also lost his footing. Now the Penguins go to work in the offensive zone. Sutter sent it up the wall. Letang pinched, but the Sabres diligently work it back to neutral ice. And Ole Mata ahead to Sutter, who steers it in. And a big hit on the near boards on Spalling by Weber, but Weber took the worst of that. Now Ennis trying to work out of his own zone. The Penguins make him turn around and go the other way, and the Penguins steal. Excellent forechecking work there by Blake Comeau, who gets back up after losing the puck. Tyson Strachan hit by Comeau. Now Ennis has a chance to carry it out. And he does work at the center, where it's taken by Drew Stafford. Stafford to Ennis. Stolen away. Comeau to Malkin. He drops it off to Dupuis. Now for Malkin. And the Penguins really trying to move that puck stick to stick, not hanging on to it very long. Now Dupuis moves it into the middle. And the Sabres will just work it right back to center. Cody Hodgson has it there for Buffalo.
Well, we said the Penguins had to play their game, right? Play at their level to beat the Buffalo Sabres. I think the Sabres have raised their level here in the second period of play. They're trying to match the speed of the Penguins. They've done a good job.
Malkin takes it away, drops it off, and Como couldn't find the puck. Another example of maybe passing up a shot. The Penguins are kind of overpassing here a little bit against the Sabres. Here's Ristolainen with it down the wing. Drops it off to Stewart, and a stick save made by Fleury. Foligno gets to the puck on the wing. And now the Sabres have something going here. I can't believe that Chris Stewart hasn't scored a goal yet.
This is a fast hockey game right now. Make no mistake about it. Sabres have come out here with some urgency in this second period of play. And the Penguins, they're playing their game. A couple of big hits in this game as well. We showed the Simon Dupre one, but how about the other side of the ice? Spalling and Weber. Big Weber from Pittsburgh. Thought he had Spalling lined up, and Weber went down like a big oak.
Oh man,
and he's a tough body guy, but Spalling lowered the boom.
Weber went to Seneca Valley High School and went on to play in Windsor junior hockey for Bob Bugner's team, who also wore number 6. Look at a pass right in front, taken by Hornquist, and he'll bank it away to center. And Bob Bugner, of course, a former Penguin. The puck goes back into the Sabres zone, taken there by Tyler Myers.
Bugner was a tough customer.
He was, and Weber, you know, I think he kind of is cut from the same cloth, Bob. You know, not wildly skilled by any means, but he gets everything he can out of that body and plays a physical brand of hockey. I used to love Bob Bugner's play here in Pittsburgh. He battled. Now he's the owner of the Windsor Spitfires, and that's where this guy, Mike Weber, played junior hockey. From the draw, Crosby just smashes it to the wall, and Dupre sends it around for Scuderi, who winds it up the wall, but it's taken there by Myers. Back to the net. Fleury the save. Rebound came to Gergensons. He holds it, tries to move it in front. Fleury cut it off at the post, and then Hornquist able to lift the stick of Gergensons and trying to get the puck away from him. Gergensons continues to work though, and the Sabres end up with a puck, and it's Myers with it. His slap shot is blocked away up into the netting behind the goal.
Just a wrist shot will get that shot through for the big 6'8" defender. Great play by Crosby. Stick on puck. We got a hockey game in Pittsburgh. A lot of passion both sides.
Let's take a look at some of the bad boys from NHL history.
There's one, Rob Ray, working for the Sabres.
He's a beauty. I'll tell you, he's fun to be around. He's got a great personality.
Oh, they're talking. He's on the list.
And he may well have been the most talented goal scorer of all of them. When you look through that list.
Some of them could really score, though, when you look at that list.
Oh, yeah. They were guys who could play. They were tough guys who could play, all of them. And Bob Probert might have been the scariest of them all.
Where's Jake Caulfield on that list? I was looking for him.
Up the wing. He just didn't play enough years. He would have racked up his penalty minutes. There's Downey now. Swing it back in behind, and Spalling will go get it in the corner. Spalling dishes it behind for Sutter. All the way out to Paul Martin at the point. Martin fakes the shot, lets it go. It is stopped in front, and a backhand try as Sutter was diving to the ice. He couldn't get it through. He's the one who stopped that shot from coming through in the first place. There's Martin to the far side. Quick shot again, blocked it front, and Downey right there shuffled it through the paint. And now Enroth takes a whack at Downey's shin pads, and Downey said something to the referee, and he was standing right there in the goal crease. Now it's Stafford with it. Excellent back pressure there by Spalling to make sure that Stafford couldn't do anything with the puck, and it ends up in the netting here down in the near corner. Well, we invite you to kick off your Sunday nights with Panthers Rewind on Root Sports. You can relive every Panthers touchdown, pass, and play from their most recent game every Sunday. It's at nighttime, continuing with their game against the Duke Blue Devils. Panthers Rewind tomorrow evening at 6 on Root Sports. It was a really good game today between those two clubs. Didn't end the way we would like, but certainly worth watching again. Now up the near side comes Zach Sill. Greg Adams. Sill's lost his helmet. Out to the point now. Shot by Letang goes wide of the goal.
Sill looks like one of the old timers back in the 70s without the lid, doesn't he? Plays that way too.
This is Olimata with a goal. Good backhand shot is stopped by Enroth. That's the save of the game so far for the Sabres goalie. And now Cody Hodgson just can't reach it as he was behind the defense. Adams throws a body into him. But Hodgson bounced off that check and maintains possession. Now it's carried by Marcel Gottschback. He's got Dupuis with him. And Letang joining the rush. And all those guys will head to the bench, except for Dupuis, who went in there on the forecheck. Chris Stewart moves it out on right wing to Cody Hodgson. Cuts inside on Scuderi, but Dupre alertly came over to cover up for his partner. Sent it up the near wall. Bouncing puck. Myers gloves it forward. The Penguins will take it there. And Scuderi looks up. The Sabres are changing. Lead pass to Dupuis, still on the ice. Pascal Dupuis with Malkin and Como. Dumps the puck in. That helmet's still on the ice. It belongs to Zach Sill. Ristolainen trying to move the puck out. He does just poke it free. Good play there with 2 Penguins on him. And now Dupuis with that back pressure keeps the Sabres from going north. And Blake Como drops it back. Dupre to Scuderi. Quick pass from Como to Malkin. Out of his reach. Delarier takes it and wheels it up into the Penguin zone. Dupre softly sends it up the wall. Kunitz trying to pick it clean off the boards. He was hit, but he still has the puck. Kunitz steps out of his own zone. He's got Crosby and Como still on the ice. Now Hornquist. Well, the Penguins will make other changes. Crosby out here. Yes, Hornquist does come on to join that line. So it's the top line of the Penguins on the ice. Ehrhoff and Martin defensively, and Ehrhoff with it.
Sabres have played a penalty-free game so far.
Crosby tees it up, lets it go, and it's blocked. Another block for the Sabres. They're doing their part. As Ristolainen gave up his body that time. They're playing a gritty game. And now the puck sails into the seats.
A gritty game with no penalties. That's been the key. That's why they're in a 1-goal hockey game right now. Ole Mata on the doorstep. Sill without the lid. And a big save by Enroth. Deep in his crease. Really deep in his crease there to make that trapper save. A backhand by Ole Mata. And Enroth wants a new stick, does he? He's out of his crease here. He's high up by the blue line. He's looking for something. Yep, he's going to get a new piece of lumber. That one's broken right where you hold it with your hand, Staggy. It's a weird place for a, I don't know if the Mata shot him in the glove. I'm not sure how he would have broken the stick there.
He's one of those goalies that can back right into the net without hardly bending over. Now the puck behind the goal and taken there by Letang. Sends it up the wing, and a diving play by Kunitz just to make sure that the Sabre didn't get the puck. Tyler Myers. Ryan Giunta. Letang has it. Up the boards for Hornquist. Hornquist moved it, intended for Crosby. Sabres broke it up, but Penguins, Kunitz kept it in. Now it will be carried back by Girgensons into the Penguin zone. Zemgus Girgensons. Hit by Ole Mata. Kunitz looks for the puck. And Ole Mata pushed it ahead for Marcel Gottsch. Gottsch dumps it to the corner, leading it towards Letang, who sent it behind the net. Now Gottsch backhands it, trying to get it to the front of the goal. And a shot by Ehrhoff hit a leg and went wide. Letang moves up. Giunta slides it around to the corner. And now the Sabres send it the length of the ice. No icing as Adams got there plenty of time, and Adams moves it along. Ehrhoff sent it all the way up the boards, the length of the ice. And this is an icing call against Pittsburgh.
Well, Enroth had to get a piece of lumber the last time out, the goaltender. Let's take a look at how he may have broken it. Right there? I don't know. Who knows? Downey in front of the crease. We saw Crosby go through the crease earlier.
Goalies have for years done that. You stand in that goal crease, you're going to get a whack every now and then.
Some goalies you didn't even want to get around them.
That's right. There's a shot deflected right on Fleury. One of them would have been Billy Smith, who played with Brian Trottier on the island, and Ronnie Hextall comes to mind. And Tom Barrasso too.
Still 1-0 here, Mike. How do you keep your team from being overconfident into a game against the Sabres?
Well, as you mentioned, it's a 1-0 game right now, so we've got to focus on getting more shots than we had in the last 10 minutes here. We've got to start to create some momentum by getting some puck protection time in the offensive zone.
How do you get your team to the power play?
Well, you got to work for it. I thought the other night we drew some penalties, and tonight we've got to really work for it down low.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
6-4, the Sabres have outshot the Penguins here in the second period.
It really is a good period of hockey here. The Penguins are skating. The Sabres have matched them that way.
And they're kind of playing a rope-a-dope style.
Josh Gordon's off the ice. They take him off the ice. They want him out there against Crosby. He came right off with Sabres zone time.
Here's Mata swooping in. He looked for Dupuis. There's another example of passing up a shot to try to make a perfect play.
Yeah, and you heard Mike Johnson say in the interview he wanted more shots, and he was not happy. He turned a little bit disgusted there with that non-shot.
Now here comes Stafford down the wing, and Stafford pulls back and shoots it, and that one missed the net by 10 feet, went off the glass.
Yeah, he wasn't happy at all, Mike Johnston, with that. Ole Mata passing up that opportunity to shoot the puck on the net. Dupuis was going there, play for the rebound.
Here's Malkin stepping in the zone, sets it up. Como scores!
Now the Sabres try to step up on Malkin at the blue line. Malkin holds the puck there. Boy, that was close to offside. I couldn't see where Amato exactly was. And then look at the defense backing off. And you just can't back. Poor effort there by 61 Benoit. He wasn't even in the shooting lane. And what a shot. See, Enroth stays in the blue paint. He's only 5'8", and that was just an overpowering snapshot there. Wow.
Blake Como with his third of the season against the for the Penguins against the Sabres here, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh. And just as we were saying, the Penguins passed up an opportunity to shoot the puck. That time, Como was wide open, taking the pass from Malkin. He really measured it, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. He took his time. I mean, the Sabres defense just backed off, and they allowed him to move inside the top of the circles. And yeah, he just took his time.
The Sabres have had 2 15-shot games, 1 12-shot game, and that infamous 10-shot game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right now, they have a total of 10 shots in this hockey game.
That's a big goal right there by Blake Como. You know, the Sabres were in the hockey game. They felt that they had got one. Now they're down by 2. They haven't won a game when they have not scored the first goal.
And the Penguins have scored the first goal in every single game except for 2. Now Kunitz dumps the puck into the corner, gets in after it himself. Kunitz working hard on the end boards. Tyler reached the line in there, and the puck just ends up at the side of the net.
I think
the
it's
Penguins
in the
barging in there. It may have gone in. I don't know if it was ever shot in. It just looked like it was.
Oh, you got to look at this. You got to look at this. I don't know if the net came off its moorings. I can't tell that. But that puck looked like, from where I was, it was inside the goal post. And it was shuffled in there.
Was it?
On the blocker side of Enroth before the whistle. Right there, the puck is in right now. You can see it. Is it all the way over the goal line? Yeah, I could see it just for a split second, guys. Just for a split second. That puck by the right toe of Enroth is sitting right by the goal post. I don't know if it's all the way across the goal line or not. If it gets his glove out of the way, we can see it right there. And that, again, I can't tell you if that's all the way over the goal line or not. It's got to be all the way over the red under the ice there, folks. It's got to be all the way over that. And I can't tell you. I can't tell you on my screen. I can't tell you if it's 100% over that red line. Might just be touching the red. It's so close. We had a replay the other night that did not go the Penguins' way. And this one, oh boy, it's on the big screen here. And it's just so hard to tell 100% if that's all the way over or not, guys. At least from my my angle and what I'm looking at.
How did it end up there?
It's just jammed in there from
was there a stick?
Line.
Was it a stick that jammed it in, or was it Kunitz just skating in and getting his skate in there? That's what I'm trying to determine, because it didn't look like anybody ever shot it, but maybe he got a stick in there.
And as you know, it doesn't always have to be a stick to propel the puck into the net.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
You know, but you can't kick it in either. So
take one more look. You know, would have been just prior to that. And there's the puck, folks. So you tell me if that's all the way over the red line. There's snow. I see snow on the ice. We talked about that the other night. There's some white
snow. In fact,
snow.
I see a lot more of that tonight than I did the other night. I actually think the other night you could see more white ice between the red line and the puck than you could there. But that one went, you know which way that one went.
Yep.
It takes a lot to reverse a call on the ice. And it has to be really conclusive. And I think much like the call the other night, this one just isn't that conclusive.
Yeah, I'm not sure of this one. And once again, Steg, I'm not exactly how sure who was the last Penguin to touch that either. As it got in there behind the right pad and skate of Enroth. And listen for the call, folks.
There's no goal on the play. The whistle was blown before the puck crossed.
Well, all that to tell us the whistle had blown. Okay.
Even if the whistle wasn't blown, if the referee intends to blow it, then that's when the whistle actually blew.
And they got some help from the situation room in determining when the referee determined he was blowing this whistle, apparently, and they've gone with the no goal call.
Here's Crosby driving towards the net. Backhander, and a save made by Enroth. Crosby gets to his own rebound. He goes to the circle with it. And Hornquist tried to shoot it, has another crack at it, moves it to the net, and it's deflected away from the goal. Now the Sabres trying to get out of their own zone.
They're going to get to the power play, the Sabres. Crosby, I believe, is going to get a hooking penalty here. I thought it was Kurt Stick of Crosby underneath the hands of a Sabre defenseman.
Pittsburgh penalty, 87 minutes hooking.
There's Crosby, the stick under the hands, Girgensons. And let's take a look at Sidney Crosby on the backhand from our Allegheny Health Network Super Mo up the left shoulder of Enroth, who took it up high. Crosby scoring 18% of his goals in the NHL on that backhand, and that was a sizzling shot.
And Crosby, speaking of 18, now has an 18-game point streak against the Sabres in his career. He has an assist on the first goal by Kunitz. So the Sabres get a man advantage. And this is their second chance. They had 2 shots on their first opportunity. Here's Tyler Myers with it. Myers to the goal. A save by Fleury. You saw that at the very last second. Myers again with a slap shot. Again, Fleury makes the save. Letang is there to escape the rebound out of danger. And he moves it along to Gotch, and the Penguins Adams. Short-handed, drives one off a stick and up into the netting behind Jonas Enroth. And a face-off coming up. Boy, a couple of good opportunities as Tyler Myers really hammered that puck from the point.
Well, the Penguins penalty killers, 23 straight. It's been spectacular here over the last 7 games. And first 3 games, just trying to get familiar, allowing passes through the box. In the last 5, they've killed everyone. And now 23 consecutive, looking for 24. The man who was looking for points in 10 straight games got it, Steggy, on that last Como goal. Evgeny Malkin.
That's right.
Points in 10 straight to start the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And he didn't even have a training camp. He just showed up for game 1.
Drew Stafford scored the only power play goal the Sabres have scored this year in the last game against the Boston Bruins. Tyler Myers. You know, this is the subject of trade rumors, and he may be one of those guys that if you change the scenery, you might just find that he's still a pretty darn good defenseman. Here he is moving up, trying to get it in front. He's gone through some tough years, but he was really looking good there early in his career.
He's starting to play minutes. You mentioned he won the Calder Trophy, but you know, he shouldn't be trying to win the Art Ross, and I think that's where the problem lies with Myers. Sometimes he tries to do too many men on the ice. Sabres still have 6 men on the ice here, 7 including the netminder, so it'll be a too many men on the ice penalty, and that means for Ted Nolan's hockey team that after the 4-on-4 they're going to have to kill a Penguin power play. We've seen too many men on the ice calls really affect teams, and there's clearly 6 players on the ice for the Buffalo Sabres.
Good job, Bobby. You made the call. Ted Nolan wiping his brow.
That just can't happen. That wasn't even like a bad change. There was 6 players on their power play. And that's not a coach's fault. That's a player's fault. You can't take a man if he doesn't come off.
Chris Stewart can't get out of his own zone. Then with Steele, Spalling. To Ehrhoff, to Spaulding. Shoots it, and a save by Enrod. Ehrhoff moves up to play it again for Como. 4-on-4. The Penguins weaving that puck around. Ole Mata had to go off his stick. He'll go get it. Ole Mata works it down low, sends it up top to Ehrhoff. Down to Como, slap shot off a leg. And the Sabres, Brian Gionta has control. Gionta rubbed out nicely by Ehrhoff and Blake Como. To Kunitz. Penguins have the power play now. 1:07 remaining on the penalty for too many men on the ice. Crosby with it, across now. It goes off of Hornquist, who taps it along for Sid. He'll reverse it back to the corner. Hornquist for Kunitz. Chris Kunitz. Two Sabres there trying to get it away from him. Hornquist steps in to help out. Crosby will go get it. Brings it up high. Sends it back down for Letang and across now. Malkin. Kunitz. Hornquist. He scores!
That's why a right-hander in the slot is so advantageous and so deadly for this power play. Take a look. Penguins keep it in at the point. Sidney Crosby, Letang, a dish pass to Malkin, and then you got the tic-tac-toe, bing, bang, bong. And it doesn't happen if you don't have that right shot. And that puck right over the right pad of Enroth. He went down to the butterfly, but it was so quick. The blink of an eye. That Penguin power play moving it around. All five guys touched the puck. All five. And then it went in off the stick of Hornquist. Great stuff.
And again, a too many men on the ice penalty costs the opponent a goal. It happened twice earlier in the week. Devils, Kings, both guilty of it. Now the Sabres. Zach Sill. And the Sabres were in this game not too long ago, and now it's 3-0 Pittsburgh with 3:21 to go in the second.
And for all intents and purposes, this game is, in my the way I feel about it, is over. Really, I mean, that quickly, the Penguins, the Sabres had a chance, like you said, Staggy, but the Penguins have just made it their game right now, and unless they give it back, it's going to be awfully tough for this Sabres team. We showed you their ability to score goals has just not been there this year.
Malkin gliding with the puck, leaves it for Dupre. Now for Como, who's able to slither his way up the boards and avoid the hit by Tyler Ennis. But offside is called. We'll return to Pittsburgh, where the Penguins once again have put at least 3 on the board.
Well, we saw Jordan Nolan of the Kings Thursday night. Tonight we see his father Ted behind the bench with the Sabres. Well, on October 23rd, the Sabres were in LA, so it was father versus son for the first time. Then again, this was also a first in the summer of 2012 when Jordan celebrated a Stanley Cup championship with Ted on the ice. And yeah, they did it again this past summer. That, my friends, has to be a pretty cool feeling.
Well, there's the proud father.
Ted Nolan played for the Pittsburgh Penguins back in the 84-85 season, played 18 games. He was a line mate of Mario Lemieux for a few shifts.
Tough hockey player.
Originally drafted by the Detroit Red Wings. Here's Christian Ehrhoff. Headmans the puck to Marcel Gott. The Sabres have had white jerseys back, and they've been blocking shots and done whatever they could do to defend, but it's just so tough when you're playing against Pittsburgh, the way they can move the puck.
Look at that back check by Dupuis.
Gott's lost his stick, used his body there on Ennis. And there's Dupuis again, smartly backhanding that puck in the air so that Crosby can take it. And a good poke check there by Josh Georges on Sidney Crosby. And don't forget, Josh Georges teamed up with Hal Gill. I mentioned him earlier in that series against the Montreal Canadiens in 2010. And mostly against Sidney Crosby. He really had a tough time scoring goals in that series against the Habs. Georges did a great job. Here's Ole Mata moving it for Sidney Crosby. Crosby giving ground to Letang. A shot and a glove save by Enroth. He saw that through traffic. It's been a fun Halloween weekend in Pittsburgh. And folks, honoring the Pittsburgh Penguins with their costumes and their pumpkins.
Well, you got to get the dogs into the act. You know that.
You can keep tweeting us at Root Sports Pit, #Pens Booth.
Crosby to one knee to win that draw.
The tank shot stopped and a rebound backhanded wide by Kunitz. Josh Georges sends it up the wall for Zemgus Girgensons. Down to Brian Gionta. Can't get into the offensive zone. He looks frustrated right now, Gionta.
Well, wouldn't you be? I mean, this is a guy that scored 18 goals in his career, 249 total. Wants Sidney Crosby on the faceoff. Sometimes you got to get leverage. Crosby down to one knee, over to Kunitz and back to the point, and then go to the net. Get down low, turn the hand over backwards sometimes, whatever it takes to win that faceoff. And like Crosby said this morning when he was asked about it, you need a lot of help from your line mates.
Downey right to Spalling. Good support. He finds Sutter. Sutter with a shot. Enroth the save. Spalling got to the rebound. Nick Spalling protects the puck. Trying to wheel it back to the net. Went off that long stick of Tyler Myers. Now in behind the goal. Taken by Sutter. Trying to power his way in front. Instead he goes to the point. And the shot by Dupre missed the goal. And that was a heavy shot. Near side, Scuderi held it in. 45 seconds to go in the period. And the Sabres, Gionta dug the puck off the wall and got it back to the Penguin zone.
35.
Scuderi. Spalling. Downey. Shoots it. And again, it hit Tyler Myers. Now it's Girgensons to the puck. And you can see that Girgensons is a guy who's a very conscientious two-way hockey player who's going to have a long career in the NHL. And everybody has said that about him, and when you watch him, you understand why they say it.
Yeah, it's got to be tough for young players going through this struggle. I know it was for Mistay, 1983, struggling as an underage player, and the Sabres have sent one of the young guys back to the Western Hockey League, Sam Reinhart. You know, confidence is it can be so fragile as the second period ends, and somebody just got bowled over here.
Yeah, Georges and Como get tangled up, and everybody joins in.
Seems like it'll end quietly here at the end of the second anyway. In a second period that really had a lot of up and down and great skating action, but that Penguin power play is just blowing it open here. As the Penguins have gone up by 3. Como scored the Penguins' second goal, and he ends the second period with a big hit right here.
So Como goes to the locker room, and we go to Robin Jay.
Talking about, thanks very much. You suspected, Jay, that Buffalo would come out with some energy in the second period. They really did early on, forced some turnovers, had the Penguins a little maybe on their heels, but then the Penguins respond with 2 more goals.
They're a team that's working hard. They need guys like Matt Molson, Brian Gionta, Stafford. We talked off air. That's the group of guys that need to step up for Buffalo. Otherwise, they have to manufacture everything, and by that time, Pittsburgh jumped on a couple great opportunities, another great power play goal.
So the Penguins lead 3-0 at the end of 2 periods of play. Jay's going to tell us straight for you. We have highlights from around the league. Also, Dan Potat's going to catch up with Blake Como when we return. Streaks going. Marc-Andre Fleury's shutout streak extending now beyond 6 periods. The Penguins winning streak at 3. They're looking to make it 4. In case you're just joining us, here is what you've missed.
Following on, Hornqvist stop, rebound, score! Chris Kunitz on a second chance. Stepping to his right, throwing into the net. A blocker save made by Fleury. That was a beauty there. A nice shot by Ristolainen, just floating it through. Here's Malkin stepping in the zone, sets it up. Polo scores! Malkin, Kunitz, Hornqvist, he scores! Wow, that play right there, Bob, to Patrick Hornqvist is something to behold.
Yeah, well, you don't want to mess around with the Penguins power play. We know that, Staggy, and they've gone up 3-0 on that power play. Too many men on the ice, and all 5 players touched the puck, leading to that goal by Hornqvist, his 6th of the season, and his line mate Kunitz has got 6. Sidney Crosby in the middle, and there's where Hornqvist scores all his goals, all around that blue paint area. A couple out in the slot, but everything's 15 feet and in for Hornqvist, including that one. And he's taking a look right now at where he scores all his goals, and he was pretty impressed.
I'll tell you, you know what, he's got 6. How many is he going to get? I mean, you know, really, he's going to get a lot of goals playing on that line.
36.
He's had 30 in his career. And now he's surrounded by guys that can help him score more.
Now, Como, he did score, and he did take a penalty at the end of that second period, Staggy. So he'll be in the box to start this period. By the way, according to Rule 78.5, that apparent goal that did not count when the Penguins, they were looking at it. When the referee deems the play has been stopped, even if the referee has not physically blown the whistle, then it's still no goal, Staggy. And you had mentioned that when it happened.
It's the intent.
It's the intent. So, you know, he never got the whistle in the mouth, but he saw that it was covered, and he deemed the play to have been stopped right then and there.
So the Sabres, who are 0 for 2 with a man advantage, have a golden opportunity to get some life here early in the third period, and here they come on the power play. The Penguins have killed 2 here tonight, which means they've killed 24 in a row. Sabres, though, have the puck, and it's Tyler Myers to Andre Benoit. His wrist shot sailed wide. Myers got to move it in front. It comes right to Marcel Gott. He'll carry the puck back. Gott short-handed. Letang on the ice as well. Gott shoots it, and Enroth makes the save. And now up the right wing comes Drew Stafford. He'll stop up. Looks for Ennis. It's off his right skate. Ennis sent it back around behind. And pinching down is Josh Georges to force it back over to the far corner where Paul Martin gets after it. He and Matt Molson. Martin leans on Molson, who sends it around to the near side where it's taken by Josh Georges. Georges delivers it back in behind for Molson. Molson, Stafford, and Ennis up front for the Sabres right now. And it is Dupuis getting control and finding that opening. 53 seconds left on the penalty.
Penguins penalty killers, only 4 of them, 5 Sabres, but the Penguins outmanning the white jerseys while killing that penalty, and that's the key.
Here's Georges dumping it in. Fleury can't stop it. And the Penguins able to get it out again. And this is Gotch. Gotch trying to get around Georges. He poked it away, but he stays with it. The Scuderi. Slap shot. Save made by Enroth. 25 seconds to go on the penalty. Sabres bring it ahead. They have 1 power play goal this year. They dump it in. Scuderi goes back for it. He was bumped off the puck by big Chris Stewart. Now Scuderi steps in the way of Stewart to break it up, and the Penguins get clean possession. And Kunis looks to the right wing of Crosby. Crosby short-handed. Will spin around off the side of the cage. And then he was whacked by Mike Weber, who's going to get a penalty.
Yeah, he took a punch to the chops, didn't he? After that 360 spin around, spinorama. And it was an easy call. The referee making it right now.
Buffalo penalty number 6.
As Sidney Crosby came in. And there's the follow-through by Weber up high on Crosby. That's not the first time Crosby has really met the fist of Weber's at Staggy. A couple of years ago, we remember Weber assaulting Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, and it was not something that was really enjoyable to watch, seeing Sid get abused like that and nobody coming to his rescue.
No.
Sabres win the draw. They're shorthanded again. The Penguins UPMC Sports Medicine power play on the ice for the second time in the game. The first time they got that incredibly surgical goal from Patrick Hornquist. Here's Malkin as he dumps it to the right wing corner. And it comes off that corner wall where Enroth had to sweep it aside to the corner. Taken now by Crosby and Kunis. Kunis got it to Letang. Letang to Crosby. Crosby looks at the net, finds Letang. He fires. Score! At the post, hit it in. It might have been deflected.
It was deflected. I love the dump in by Malkin, guys. He laid it kind of dead in the corner. The Penguins got on that dump in. Sidney Crosby assessed the situation, and Chris Letang shot the puck right away. Chris Kunitz wide open, and Hornquist, look at Enroth can't see anything. He can barely see it. Perfect deflection off the backhand, off the goalpost and in. But they had everything. They had everything going there. They had a quick shot. They had bodies at the net in tandem position. Hornquist really obscuring the vision of this smaller netminder, and Kunitz wide open down there on the backhand, available, stick on the ice.
And now he's got 7. Boy, is he good, Chris Kunitz.
Well, he's getting an opportunity this year with the new regime to play on this power play. And he's putting up a lot of power play points.
Sabres trying to come out of their own zone. Delorier moves it to the near wing.
That's 7 power play points for Chris Letang, Staggy, so far this season.
I'll tell you, Bob, you know, the swing with the special team. The Penguins kill the penalty. Right after it, they get a power play. Actually, at the end of the kill, so they put on Crosby. He draws a penalty from Weber. So they kill one, and then they cash in on the power play.
Yeah.
And the special teams have just been absolutely devastating to the opposition so far this year.
And Simon Dupre just drew another penalty, Staggy. He used his strength in the corner. He separated the man from the puck.
Okay.
And Delorier decided to reach around Simon Dupre, who's a big body guy. He's 6'4" and a bit. And take a look. He wins the battle in the corner, separates man from puck, protects the puck, and draws the hook. So the power play comes on the ice again for Pittsburgh. 17 power play goals, 17 on the season.
You know what the record is, Bob? You were part of the team that put it up.
I have no idea.
119 power play goals in 88-89, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
119?
119.
I was sitting on the bench for every one of them. I had a good view.
I know, and you scored 27 in even strength that year, did you not? 26?
So those guys were good, yeah, but those guys were a treat to watch, Staggy. Really were.
Paul Coffey, Mario Lemieux, Robbie Brown. Who else? Kevin Stevens. Kuhn at center is right to the net. Oh, a shot just wide of the goal by Malkin.
Oh, be a lot of area on that glove hand. Enroth deep in the cage.
Now Benoit tries to get it out. Hornquist went crashing over there to get it back. Now Letang sets it up. Crosby. Malkin. Kunis is in the slot. Hornquist is in front of Enroth. Here he is, out to Crosby. Crosby holds it. Letang, a shot saved by Enroth. And the rebound is cleared by the Sabres, but not down the ice. They're able to change a couple of penalty killers. Crosby sends it over near side for Malkin. Back over to Sid. Letang banks it off the boards. George is trying to get it out. And it comes back over the line with Hornquist trapped offside. Tonight, after the game on an all-new Inside Penguins Hockey, we head north of the Berg to check out one of the more unique tributes to Mario Lemieux. Explore some new hairstyles for Chris Letang and much more. Inside Penguins Hockey debuts tonight after postgame on Root Sports.
A mullet?
I think they should have just put that afro on him on the bobblehead. That's hilarious. That's a great hairdo. Now here's Tyler Myers to the corner. And he couldn't get it out. Ehrhoff holds it in. 25. Taken now by Sutter and centered and chopping at it was Mata. Bouncing puck, and it's going to come to a blue line where Ehrhoff holds it in. Downey tried to get it deep, can't do it. Then the Sabres able to get it back to Penguin ice. 10 seconds remaining on the penalty to Delorier.
5, 4, 2, 1.
Dupuis. Sutter hit hard in the corner. Solid check there by Weber. And Delorier is out of the box. He throws it across the rink to Cody Hodgson. Penguins step up on him. Tyler Strachan has it to Weber. Weber's wrist shot. Then that one sailed wide through a screen. So the Penguins able to get to the puck first. Ole Mata to Brandon Sutter. And he'll dump it into the corner.
And Malkin's on the bench here beside me, and he is slamming his stick. He is disgusted that he missed that opportunity. When he went in and Enroth, all he had to do was hit the top corner of that net, and he's just he's upset with himself that he didn't score another goal here for Pittsburgh.
Now Marcel Gott's trying to get to it, but Ristolainen beat him to it. And Delorier lifts it inside the line. The Penguins scoring more than 3 goals for the 4th time this season tonight. 6 against Anaheim, 5 against the Leafs, 8 against the Devils, and now 4 against the Sabres. Simon Dupre, look at that pass. Right on the tape for Blake Como. Simon Dupre. Scuderi. Jurgensen's had it and lost it. Como comes over. Now he'll go to the bench. Sill moved it into the middle off a stick. And the Sabres set it up from their own zone. Rasmus Ristolainen gave it back to his partner, Andre Benoit, who was totally tripped there. And I don't know if he was trying to draw a penalty or what, but he was tripped up and there's no call. I think that could have been a penalty there. Malkin out to Paul Martin, and he fires it wide. Drew Stafford looks around, finds the puck, shuffles it in behind for Ristolainen. Right back on to the stick of Jurgensen, who looks left wing for Stafford, out of his reach. And the Penguins quickly go the other way, and it's Craig Adams. Surrounded by white jerseys, he wrists it to the glove of Jonas Enroth.
Now the Penguins power play is struck again in Pittsburgh, and it's Kunitz, a redirection on the backhand off the goal post, and 4-0.
Well, the big prize at the end of the year is this kid right here, Connor McDavid, who has 38 points in 13 games for the Erie Otters, and he's touted as the next one. And the other day in practice, he shot a puck off the crossbar, and that's what happened to him.
Come on. Jamie McKee took the picture. Former Penguin defenseman and Sabre defenseman.
And photographer in his spare time.
Wow, that was incredible stuff.
It's not the first time we've seen a puck shatter, but particularly poignant, I think, that Connor McDavid did that to it, because he's going to shatter some records, I think, for whatever club he ends up with.
Yeah, right down the road in Erie if you want to go watch a Ontario Hockey League game.
Yep, and a brand new refurbished arena up there. Here's Kunitz trying to reach the puck, and they've changed the lottery system now. It was 25% chance for the team that finishes last. Now it's 20%. And the odds are a little greater for teams further down the line. So it's not guaranteed that if you finish last, you're going to get it. But there's another guy named Jack Eichel who's going to go probably second overall. Hornquist has been injured here. He goes to the bench. He's hobbling. Looks like he's going to take a seat on the bench, but I'm not sure what happened to him. But Hornquist has gone to the Penguins bench, and he's in some kind of discomfort. Dupuis shoots it, and Enroth just handles it easily. Now it's Tyson Strachan with it. I saw Connor McDavid play during the lockout. I went up, and he was just a kid then. I mean, really young. He was underage, and he can skate. A lot like Sid. Now Dupuis can't get it out. Sabres trying to make something happen here, but the Penguins just battle for possession of the puck, and Como softly dumps it into the Sabres zone. A lot of time left, but now it's up to the Penguins to just vanquish the Sabres here the rest of the way.
Hornquist is still on the Penguins bench. He went in the defenseman's door. He was looked at and seems to be okay.
By the way, Bobby, Connor McDavid has 4 more points tonight.
Wow.
So he's got 42 now.
He's a special player, isn't he? And there's Hornquist as the skates collide.
Yeah, and his leg just kind of stopped him in his tracks
abruptly, and seems fine.
That's good.
That is good. Because the last time there was a big collision like that, it was the knee of Malkin, and it was big 6'8" Myers, and that wasn't that good. And Malkin had to have ACL surgery and came back better than ever.
Flynn ends up with a puck behind the net. Delorier moves to the front of the net. Cody McCormick on the ice in his second stint with the Sabres. He was with the Minnesota Wild last year. Puck thrown back to the net by Weber. Now Flynn with a shot, a turning shot, a surprise one there, but it was blocked in front. But Downey able to tap it off the boards and get it back to center. And Weber stepped up on Steve Downing. He is a physical player, and he really does remind me of Bob Boughner. Now here back to the puck goes Simon Desprez over to Brandon Sutter. Sutter able to gain the red line, couldn't get any further. Andre Benoit clogging things up on the near side, and then Jurgensen's able to get it deep. Fleury has to wait for it to come into the trapezoid. Desprez better move it quickly. Threw it right in front of his own net. And Scuderi able to just lift it back to center.
Well, I don't know how that stayed out. Fleury was getting back into the paint. There's a delayed penalty right now against Pittsburgh, and for some reason it didn't hit the back of the skate of Fleury and go in behind him. Wow, incredible stuff. It's a game of inches. And Marc-Andre Fleury and the Penguins, wow, in one side out the other.
Well, the Sabres are still looking for that first marker of the night. They have just 12 shots on goal. And again, it's been a theme this season. In fact, on Tuesday against Toronto, they had just 10, a franchise low 10 shots on goal. Now, the Penguins have never registered just 10 shots on goal in one game, but they've had 11 several times, the most recent one coming in San Jose on October 28th in 2008. Guys, I remember that game, just 11 shots on goal against the Sharks. Back upstairs to you.
The Penguins were a depleted lineup that night, too.
Oh, I remember that. And I remember the practice the next day, too. And it wasn't that much fun. Oh, man, I remember the battling the next day.
Olimata just sends it the length of the ice as the Sabres are on the power play again. This is their fourth opportunity. The Penguins are now up to 25 consecutive kills. Trying to make it 26. Letang tried to get it over to the wall, and it comes right to the side of the net. Fleury battling to keep it out of there, and he's able to freeze it. That's one thing that Mike Johnston commented on after a game a couple of games back is Fleury's been battling in the crease when there's a lot of traffic around that net to find the puck.
Well, look at all the black jerseys helping him out too, Steggy. When the whistle's blowing, you're going to see four guys basically standing in the picture, almost in the paint. And that's all the black jerseys you got. So they're all down there trying to outnumber the Buffalo Sabres. And that's what the Penguins have been so good at here over this stretch, is outnumbering the team with 5 players, despite the fact they only have 4.
Sabres win the draw. That's a big face-off win. Sutter losing it. And it's Josh Georges moving it right side. The shot is stopped by Fleury, and the rebound cleared. An opportunity there for Gionta, it was Gionta who let it go on the right side. And now the Sabres regroup on the power play. Stewart dumps it in. Fleury waits for it, lifts it up off the glass. Gionta couldn't stop it, but Ristolainen did. Over to Georges. Back to Ristolainen. Cody Hodgson. Off the side of the cage. And cleared by Sutter. 43 seconds to go on the penalty.
Well, that was a good clear, but the one before that, Scuderi off the pads of Fleury, clears it to the corner, jumps to the corner, and then gets it down the ice. That's the way you got to have it. It's a veteran defenseman.
Adams in the box for holding. It's 27 seconds to go on his penalty. Andre Benoit on the near side. Penguins break it up. Kicked ahead. Picked up by Dupuis. Letang joins the rush. Letang holds it, shoots it. Stopped by Enroth. Almost a shorthanded goal for the Penguins, but they do draw a penalty. An interference call coming up.
I love the yelling by the Penguin bench. Two they're yelling as Pascal Dupuis got the puck. And then Chris Letang is joining that rush. Letang wanted to go back. Look, the defenseman is taking away the pass. Myers is taking away the pass. Back to Dupuis. You got to shoot the puck there. And the penalty right there as the Penguins fight through. Look at Dupuis. Looks. Myers takes away the pass, so Letang wisely gets the puck to the net.
And off the draw, the Sabres control. 4-on-4 hockey for 6 seconds, and the Penguins will get another power play opportunity. So they kill another opponent power play, and it is up to 26 straight. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Steg, you just said it was 4-on-4, then the penalty was over. Myers had the puck. He did nothing with it there. All he had to do is ice the puck down. Now the face-off is right here. See if the Penguins get control and are able to go in, but just simple plays. Like when you have a chance to clear the puck down, get the puck down. I don't know what you're waiting for. And just a lot of indecision there for this still young defenseman.
Penguins are 2 for 3 with a man advantage. UPMC Sports Medicine power play.
There he is again. He had a chance to clear the puck. He hit his own man. The Penguins are going the other way.
Ehrhoff, slap shot. That hit Torrey Mitchell. And stayed with the Penguins. Crosby to Malkin. Malkin to Ehrhoff. Mitchell challenges him after blocking that shot. That's a gutsy play there. Here's Crosby with it now. Over to Malkin. Lets it go. He scores!
You can only hope to contain that. I was right in line with that shot. Malkin looked up. He knew he had to get it by a blocker. And when it came back to Malkin, after all the good passing, Ehrhoff keeping the puck alive. Watch Malkin. He picked the spot by Myers, and he picked the top shelf. Absolutely incredible. He absolutely was looking at that spot. A little piece of the body of Ehrhoff got the puck, but not enough. It was overpowering. It was in a perfect position. He got it by the 6'8" Myers. Myers didn't clear the puck down against Aggie, and when you don't clear the puck down against this power play, you're asking for trouble.
That is the third 3-goal game on the power play this year for the Penguins.
The Pittsburgh goal.
And in every game they've had, except for 2, they've been able to at least score on the power play. Several 2-goal performances. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So it's just ridiculous the way the Penguins are filling the net with a man advantage. It's unstoppable. There's just too many weapons. And the way they pass the puck. And the way they work to get it back.
And give Ehrhoff, the ex-Sabre, a power play assist on the Malkin goal.
And a shot by Gotch, stopped on the short side. Ehrhoff gets it. 5-0 Pittsburgh. Zach Sill is trying to control the puck and ends up losing it. He's going to have to hurry to get back here and get some help from Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff, oh, Sabre just went right into Fleury. That was Cody Hodgson. He forgot where he was.
He lost his edge.
Now on the near side, taken by Gotch. Gotch feeds it in deep. Adams gets in after it. Ristolainen chasing Sill, who reversed it back. Stewart moving it up to Hodgson. Now it's Marcus Foligno dropping it back. Sabres will go home and play the Detroit Red Wings tomorrow night, so it doesn't get any easier for them. Red Wings, an impressive performance last night against the Kings after they lost the night before to Pittsburgh. Penguins will move on and play Minnesota, Winnipeg, and Buffalo again next Saturday night in Buffalo. Shot down low by Dupuis is stopped by Ehrhoff. This will be the start of a 5-game road trip, if you will. And you won't see the Penguins here at Basall Energy Center for 2 Saturdays when the Rangers come to town. And this is the end of a 3-game homestand for the Penguins. Defeating New Jersey 8-3, and then the Kings 3-0, and now they've got a 5-0 lead on the Buffalo Sabres with 4:11 remaining. Letang trying to run the gauntlet here, but Myers will lift it off the glass. Letang's trapped a bit. Mata is back. Letang getting back into play. Torrey Mitchell comes near side. Be careful not to get those defensemen trapped in a situation like this when you're leading 5-0.
Got a penalty here. Hornquist got leveled over on the wall.
And Sill has the puck, and Hornquist gets himself up slowly. Did Gergensons hit him? I think he did. He's going to the box.
Yep.
Hornquist is saying something right now.
He was already banged up from the last shift, and he's asking Gergensons, what's that all about? It's 5-0 here. The kid's just trying to show that he wants to keep battling and playing.
Oh, yeah. Our Subway sandwiches of the game.
Falling, Weber went down there. Como's been involved, and as Simon Dupre, as you saw in the first one. No stranger to the body checking, and really new full-time members of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Another UPMC Sports Medicine power play. The Penguins power play is 3 for 4. Malkin's goal, his 5th power play goal of the season already. And I think it's interesting. He's playing the left side, and he has been the most potent weapon in terms of scoring goals.
Yeah, that last one wasn't 5-on-3, but a lot of times it's good to have that left shot on the left point. You can create an easier passing lane from low to high, from high to low. And it really is the Penguins power play. We have those right shots. You have Letang out there. You have Hornquist there. Those other options. Hornquist is in the middle, and that makes more room for the guys outside. More room for Letang. More room for Malkin.
Sutter tried to shuffle it over to Dupuis, but the Sabres break it up, and Andre Benoit bounces it down the ice. Ehrhoff goes back to get it. Penguins leading 5-0. Looking to add to their lead with Zemgus Girgensons into the box for plowing into Patrick Hornquist on the boards, taking a penalty. And now Weber and Delorier combine to hit Como. They're coming after him a little bit after what happened when he hit Josh Georges at the end of the second period. Ole Mata to Letang, shoots, and a save made by Enron. And now it is Benoit able to shoot it past Ole Mata, but he just got a piece of it to prevent it from going all the way down the ice. And the Penguins hurry it along. Here's Como. And fed in front by Spalling, but he kind of made it an airborne pass and Gotch couldn't play it. Spalling after it again. He and Como and Gotch go to work in the corner. So it's kind of a makeshift power play right now for Mike Johnston, having a little mercy on the Sabres. Here's Mata shooting, and that hit Flynn. Letang, Gotch rather, bumped into Myers, taken now by Spalling. And in behind the net, it is Georges moving it along for Myers. Up ice is Flynn looking for a breakaway, but Ole Mata amazingly read that coming, and he got his stick out there to break it up. Here comes Letang out of his own zone with 6 seconds to go on the penalty. One more rush for the Penguins with a man advantage. Letang, stick handling, trying to maintain possession. Now Brian Gionta's got it, and Girgensons going to be coming out of the box. He's got it. Girgensons down the wing, shoots up high, and Fleury just waved at it as it went through. Here's Benoit shooting, and that was intentionally wide. Now it's Girgensons trying to get into the goal, and Fleury shuts the door on Zemgus Girgensons and freezes the puck. Just as we promised, Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite.
How about Kunitz time? He opened the scoring, and then on the power play, Chris Kunitz just keeps racking them up. And this Penguin 5 spot on the board here. Goals per game going up again for the NHL's leading goal getters.
Shot from the point, deflected, ends up behind the net. Oh, it's stuff-in attempt by Cody Hodgson. Fleury got over there with his right pad. I don't know if he ever got a shot, but his stick was there, and Fleury's pad was there too. Here's Strachan back to the puck in the corner. Cody Hodgson at the other end of the rink now, trying to get a hold of it defensively, but they at least get it back to center, and now the Penguins go D to D. And the fans chanting Fleury, Fleury, with less than a minute remaining in the hockey game. It is Marcus Foligno on the left wing. Rob Scuderi wheels behind the cage. And the Penguins control the puck. Not many teams in hockey can control it like them. This is Sill backhanding one wide. Malkin will get over and play the puck. Malkin spins off the wall with it. Malkin backhands it to the net. That just clipped the equipment of Enroth as it came through. Marcus Foligno's bumped on the near wall. Paul Martin's got it. 27 seconds to go in the hockey game. 16 shots for the Sabres. 34 for the Penguins. And a nice send-off here the rest of the way from the fans as the Penguins will head off on the road after winning 3 straight here on their home ice. Still more work to do, though. Here's Delorier shooting, and Fleury the save. The rebound loose. Fleury stops McCormick. And right on cue, the Flower makes the saves here with 6.8 seconds to go.
The Allegheny Health Network Super Mo shows what might be the final save, and there's Ole Mata, 6 points in his 10 games this season.
And he's our player of the game. We will miss him. He will be getting surgery while the Penguins are on the road, and all the best to Ole Mata. A bright young star and a great person in this National Hockey League. And now off the draw, the puck is cleared. 2 seconds to go. A third shutout in a week for Marc-Andre Fleury. That's the first time in his career he's ever done that. The third of his career against the Buffalo Sabres. The 31st of his entire career. And Marc-Andre Fleury and the Penguins defeat the Buffalo Sabres here tonight 5-0.
Well, they kept the level up, and the Buffalo pushed them. They pushed them into that second period when it was 1-0. And then a too many men on the ice call, a power play goal for the Penguins, opened it up 3-0. That was it. Marc-Andre Fleury, 31 shutout, Staggy. That's phenomenal stuff.
And the Penguins are playing some really good hockey right now, and the fans are loving it here tonight at Consol Energy Center. Let's go to Robin Jay.
All right, thanks very much. First time in Marc-Andre Fleury's career, he has back-to-back shutouts, 3 in the last 4 games. The defense has done the job. The power play continues to do the job.
I mean, you can't. I mean, if we get another too many men, we hear another too many men for some team, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You can't give them that opportunity. If it's a hard-working penalty where you got to pull somebody down, or an aggressive penalty to benefit or help a teammate or your team, okay. I get, but these too many men, it's killing the opposition. Pittsburgh is jumping all over it. So a great job all the way around. They played a team that you weren't sure how they're going to react. They came out and dominated the game.
Penguins win by the final score of 5-0 over the Buffalo Sabres. Their winning streak is now at 4 games. Coming up, we'll have extended highlights, post-game reaction. We'll also have highlights from around the league and look forward to the 5-game homestand. That's all coming up next on Penguins Postgame here on Root Sports.